Hey there, hi there, and depending on where you live, and only if it's legal, ho there. It's Ryan from Nights Around the Table. Welcome to a very special Saturday night slot. I don't usually stream on Saturday nights, and I just want to make sure, is there anybody? No, there's nobody in chat, so nobody can confirm that my audio is even working. So I'm just going to talk to myself for a little bit. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Perhaps the entire first half of this thing will be completely mute until somebody sort of like jumps in and tells me that. Does anyone know what this thing plugs into? Because technical difficulties as usual. I suffered a very sad mishap earlier in the week. This thing, my Zoom H4n recorder, which I use as the microphone for all these live streams that I do, and I plug the old lavalier in there, and I do my host shots for my game videos. It took a tumble off the table earlier this week, and I went to plug it in tonight to do this stream, and it was like, no, I'm broken. So that's why I've got the weird. That's why I don't even know if my audio works, because I never use this thing. So who knows? Can you hear me? I have no idea. I'm just gonna keep talking until somebody jumps onto the stream and says, actually, it's just been Marcel Mousseau the entire time. Marcel? What's the mime's name? Marcel? Somebody was in chat, they could tell me. I'll just blunder through and make all the mistakes I want. Would you open this up? Here's the thing, like when I plug into the little USB thing, it'll only power it. It's connected to the computer, and it'll only power it. You have these with older devices, right? If you just hold it like a certain way and apply a certain amount of pressure to it, then it'll power it. But if you let go, it'll turn off. So I had to like duct tape in there, but it didn't work. How confident would you be opening one of these things up and troubleshooting that problem? Would you just throw it out for $400? Would you just throw it out? It's not an inexpensive device. That's what I find when cash wise, sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. And when I'm up, I buy things. And then when I'm down, all my things break and I can't afford to replace them. The oven just went this week, so we had to. I keep looking over here because I have this Chinese screwdriver set that I'm really thinking about going in there. But like I'll crack this thing open, and then I'll just be looking at it like dumbfounded, like I don't know what any of that stuff is, and then I won't be able to get it back together again, and that'll really be it. And then that'll sort of that'll drive a purchase, I guess, replacement purchase. Right. I don't even know if we can see chat. Can we see chat? Let me just. Nobody's here to chat, but I'm just going to do a little test here. Apologies if you're watching this after the fact. Like, what is this guy and what is he doing and why is he bothering? So I will type the word hello and make sure it pops up on the screen. Let me try one more time. Just a simple hello. Perfect. All right. What have I got for you this evening? Well, my game group is coming over tomorrow, and we're going to play a game, and that coincides with a wonderful publishing company called Czech Games Edition sending me these two games from their library, brand new for 2022. This one is called Deal with the Devil, and this one's called Starship Captains. I'll tell you what I know about them. We'll crack the shrink, we'll tell some jokes, we'll chat. It's kind of requires some people in chat to chat. So I'll just talk to myself and I'll tell you whatever stories come to my mind. Starting with Starship Captains. Now, this is a game that is, it doesn't have the Star Trek license. And I want you to know that very clearly because that's extremely important. There is no copyright infringement going on in this game. I'm sure they were like you crossing their T's and dotting their I's very carefully to make sure that there was nothing that they could be SUED for, but it is in the style of not only Star Trek, but other, there's sci-fi that's kind of like in the Star Trek realm. So like the Orville is like a take on Star Trek more than Star Wars, right? Those are the two biggies, Star Trek and Star Wars, right? So the Orville, I guess, is a take on Star Trek, whereas something like Spaceballs is a take on Star Wars, right? And then what else is in sort of the Star Trek milieu? What's that? There's an animated one. Name of it escapes me right now, but it's all, there's a captain and there's a bridge and there's a crew and they go to planets and da-da-da. Whereas with Star Wars, it's more like they shoot something in Tunisia and they're like, I don't know, where should we set this part of Star Wars? I don't know, Tatooine? Yeah, sure, why not? Just set it in Tatooine because I'm out of ideas. It's like everything significant in that entire thing happens on Tatooine because they've got like a contract with the Tunisian government or something. They always have to shoot there. I don't know what's. And then this is weird too. I was thinking about this in the shower. And this is a shower thought, but like, is it weird to you? It's weird to me that they've got like things that are kind of like way too similarly named in Star Wars. So they got like Tatooine, and then they've got Dantooine. And then I was surprised that they named the character in Rogue One and then the series based on him Andor, and they've already got a planet called Endor. You know what I mean? That's got to drive newcomers bonkers. By newcomer, I mean people new to Star Wars, not immigrants. You know what I'm talking about. People who've never... Anyway. Starship Captains. I played this game. I played this game with my wife, Cheryl. We were at Gen Con this year, and we were invited by Ray, who does the social media publicity PR stuff, one of the people who does that for CGE. She's very front-facing for the company, and you can see her all the time on the Czech Games Edition stream, so go give them a follow if you like being on Twitch and doing that kind of thing. So we went and we played it on like a Sunday morning at Gen Con, and we were absolutely bagged, and our... our Airbnb was like a 20-minute haul from the convention center, which didn't sound like much, like 20-minute walk, but it's kind of a lot when you're, first of all, you're tired from the convention, and then you're carrying all kinds of stuff, and you got pamphlets and brochures trying to sell yourself. And yeah, it was challenging. And the impression that it came away with, and I should be careful what I say, because like Peter B. Hofgaard is very, very active. He's the designer of the game. He's very active on social media, and he constantly wants to know what people think about the game. Come play my game. He's very cute. It's very cute to watch him so enthusiastic about his game. So I need to crush his spirits by saying anything negative. I found it. So we've got two opposite ends of the spectrum. I think with these games, this one was on the lighter side. My impression of Deal with the Devil is that it's very much not on the lighter side. It's a very, very meaty. We'll get to this one in a second. This one, I kind of prefer heavier games. This one felt a little light to me. It only goes 4 rounds, and it felt like 5 or 6. Might have given me more of a satisfying stay. However, I say that as if Peter and his whole team, all the playtesters and everything, probably didn't, they tested it probably at 6 rounds and 5 rounds. They've been all over, up and down and through this game. So who might have come in and say, well, actually, what you should do is 2 more rounds. I'm a genius. They know. Maybe it was better at 4. It felt like there was a lot of cool stuff to do in the game, and I didn't get to do it in 4 rounds. But I don't know. There's all the principle, leave them wanting more. So maybe that's what they were trying to do. Oh my gosh, I'm hitting the mic. That's something I don't do with this press. Can we have like a moment of silence for the Zoom H4n? I feel super, super bad about it. I think we should all just bow our heads in thoughtful, quiet contemplation. Well, that'll really drive the chat numbers, won't it? But let's just please have a moment of silence for the Zoom. 1 minute moment of silence for the Zoom H4n. Yeah. It's just that I think I heard somebody coughing, so we're going to just reset the clock, and we'll try again for 1 minute moment of silence for the Zoom H4n. And that'll do it, because I don't have a really good internal sense of timing, so I don't know how long a minute is. Let's get this off the table, and we'll open this guy. So some of you have ordered this thing from Czech Games Edition and are excited and are waiting for it to come. I couldn't get it at Gen Con because I don't think it was quite ready to go. As far as Essen, if you went to Essen, maybe it was ready to go and you got your copy already, but I saw a couple of people on social media today saying, yeah, wait till my copy comes. Here we go. Just gonna dive right in. So in Starship Captains, you are let me spring this one on you. You are Starship Captains. Can you believe it? And you are cruising around the galaxy. You got a little board. I'll get into this as we open the thing. You get a little board that represents your ship, and you've got crew members that cycle through. Oh my gosh, box fartometer. Does the box fartometer work? Let's see. Where is the box fartometer? I don't even know. There it is. I would put that at like a 2. Box fartometer. Ah! The box fartometer is back, baby. I did a bunch of work on it. I was with a little wrench, and so that'll be me. That'll be me in 10 minutes. Who joined chat? Hello, anybody? One person say it. Identify yourself, lurker. You're it, man. It's you and me. It's you and me for this stream. So if you don't talk, man, they're just gonna have to listen to me the entire time. That'll be me fixing the on one of those wheelie carts on my back, fixing the Zoom 4N later. And I'm conscious of the fact that as soon as I get like more than 6 inches away from the mic, you can't hear me as well. So I don't know where the sweet spot is. I don't know if I've been screaming in anyone's ears the entire time. Great. Let's take a look at what we get in Starship Captains. Now, I'm going to say, just to reiterate, these were freebie copies. These are review copies that they sent. I don't really do reviews all that often. So really, I'm going to do some other stuff, including these unboxings. But I did not pay for these. So any opinions coming out of my mouth are the opinions of somebody who didn't have to spend a dime. But I really appreciate them sending the copies along. So I will... I will say, though, if I can be critical, and I love being critical, CGE, love them. Of all the games in my library, I think CGE is the most represented publisher in my games library because I so rarely go wrong with the games that they produce. Every once in a while, yeah, there's one that I'm not as big on as others, but I think they do a really good job. But one thing that they don't do a really good job on is inserts. They don't do them. They manufacture these in Czech Republic, in their own factory there, and you can see a really great video on YouTube talking about how they do that. Oh, Stop and Eraser, hello, it's you. Welcome. Thank you for joining me because I'm so alone. I'm glad you're here. I was going to say there's a really great video on YouTube that you can check out that tours their factory, which was possibly still is a toy factory in the Czech Republic that their host Elena takes you through. I thought it was pretty cool. You get to see how they build the board games. All right, what do we get? We get a roll-up thing of baggies. We'll try to count and see if that's enough baggies, but baggies, because inserts aren't really a thing with CGE. We've got a deck of cards. If I had to estimate, I would roughly guess that in each deck there would be probably, and remember, I'm not very good at estimating, but probably 50,000 cards. And a score sheet, lovely, fine, fancy fine. Four player aids and a catalog for more fine Czech Games Edition titles. This is Lost Ruins of Arnak, which I love, and if you watch the channel, you know that we play the heck out of that game. We even dressed up as some of the characters, and that is what clued Ray into the fact that we might like Czech Games Edition games, which is why she invited us to live stream with her at Gen Con. And I just got to say, I'm excited at the prospect of being able to play this game without Ray breathing down my neck, because she's a bit of a, Ray, she's a bit of a taskmaster in that, Ray. She's kind of like, she says to me before the live stream starts, she gets real close to my face, like I feel like hot breath. Don't mess this up for me, Creighton. It's like, okay. Ooh. So it was a bit tense the entire time. No, nothing like that. Ray is very, very nice, of course. Very sweet, very lovely. Thought I would tell that story. That wasn't true just because it's a funny juxtaposition. She's nothing like that. She's great. Great. Starship Captains. There's the rule book. If you are not big on rules, it looks like there's a lot, but look, they're all spaced out. They've got spaced out sci-fi joke. They're all it's not super, it doesn't look super dense, but this is like I think, if you're a family and your knowledge of board games kind of boils down to like more mainline stuff like Hungry Hippos or Operation. This is going to be daunting. Let me just say, you're going to look at this and go like, oh my God, holy criminy. I think that's what mainstream board gamers are. Oh my God, jumping Jehoshaphat. There's no way I'm going to learn that game. Oh, thank you so much, Ekin. Hey, Ekin, welcome back. Hello, welcome. Thank you for resubscribing. If you want to be as cool as Ekin, and let's face it, very few people can be, go to knightsaroundthetable.com/Twitch sub, and I've got instructions there. If you are an Amazon Prime if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can use that account to get one free subscription, and Ekin very, very lovingly, faithfully, dutifully uses that free subscription to subscribe back to Knights Roundtable, even when we don't stream for an entire month. Here's the skinny on that. I'm just going to pull back from what we're doing here with the game. Didn't stream all of November. It's because I was preparing a new format of the show. I kind of don't want to do playthroughs anymore. It's the truth, because they're too long. I think the last one we did was Great Western Trail Argentina, and that game, when you get it to the table, is usually about a 2 to 3 hour game. So it's already a long game. And then when you just add banter and talking to people, and maybe having to flip through rule books and figure out rules and trying to entertain, and then you have stream brain and you forget your move, that 3 hours stretches into a 5 hour thing. Like, who cares about a 5 hour stream? Give me a break. I'd rather keep it tight, interesting, and entertaining. So I've been sort of developing a new format that involves a little bit more, how do I tease this? Just a little bit more cutting away to different things that might interest you. If anything gets a little too, like, right, if I were doing the new show right about now, I'd be like, forget that, and I'd cut to something and it would be like a dog with pants on his head or something. We'd spend time on that, then we come back. So more like I don't know, to say, if you've got ADHD brain, that might suit your interests a little bit better. It won't be as long and boring and dull. But I'm not ready yet, because it's a little bit of a technical hill to climb for me to prepare that. So I'm still working on it. I haven't stopped. I'm still working on it. But I thought, since we were planning to play Deal with the Devil tomorrow, I would crack it open tonight. Great. What are these? These are the ships. So there's 4 different player colors, and they're really neat too. You got orange, pink, sort of like a turquoise, and orange, right? You rarely get pink in games, right? And these, I believe, am I right? I hope these are the ships, or I'm going to look like a bit of a fool. That would be a first, wouldn't it? Great. Let me pop these open. But I have something cool to tell you about the ships in just one moment. Let's take a look and see if the instruction booklets tell us the assembly instructions for the ships. Oh, I'm wrong. These are not the ships. Oh, yes, they're parts of the ships. Look, ship figure assembly. So we're getting there. We just have to find the other parts of the ships. And then I'll show you something cool. These are, man, it's only been a couple months since I played, and I'm forgetting what everything does. There's a card row of cards that you can buy to do cool stuff. What stuff is that, you ask? Well, let me just tell you. Oh, look at that. We're out of time. And then we got the board. I really like the board. I love the artwork in the game. It's cartoony. I like cartoony stuff. So the board is this big spacey thing with space in it, and different planets that you can go to, and cards appear on these planets, and you can zip your ships around and travel to the planets and do stuff. What stuff is that, you ask? Well, please, by all means, watch my live stream from Gen Con, because I don't remember anything. Here we go. This is your player board. So there's one for each color. Everybody gets a ship. Everybody gets a player board. And, there we go. And I was about to cut that. You don't actually, that's not a cutty thing. This is how, I think this is like a less expensive way for companies to do dual layer player boards, because normally what they do is, I guess, they cut 2 pieces, line them up, and glue them. But this is just kind of like, hey, sucker, build it yourself. So pop these things out and you fold this. Thank God it didn't break that crease. And that's what your ship looks like. Cool little things that you get that go down here, and your little crew figures, and we'll see those in the baggies in a second, kind of slot through here and line up as you take actions in the game. Neato. And there's one of those for each player. Neat. What else do we have? There's another ship for players. There's more hardy-holdy things. These little guys are floating around here. Oh, thank you so much, Backpat, for subscribing. Welcome. Now, I'm only going to be able to catch those if I see them, because, like I said off the top, you didn't join me from the top. Like, I forget where this plugs in, and this is what allows me to hear you. You know what? I'm gonna make a slight change just so I can hear it. It's gonna be a little bit echoey for you guys, but I think it's important because I don't want to miss shouting people out if they're being awesome. So let me just change this. Woo, there you go. Varys is here. Thank you so much for the subscription, Varys. Look at that, just in the nick of time, right? I activated that. It's fantastic. Welcome. Was it echoey for you? And also, since a couple of you are here, can you hear me? Please tell me you can hear me, because it's been 20 minutes now. Hype train coming, and it's all you guys. It's all due to you guys. Man, I hope you were here just moments ago when I was talking about the new show, because I am talking about Hype Train. I'm excited about the new show. Oh boy, if I can just overcome those technical hurdles. And it doesn't help, you guys missed the beginning. This thing broke, so that's not money. Wasn't that accurate? Perfect. Okay, we'll continue. Fantastic. Great. Here's a pink ship. Here's a blue ship. Yeah, I like it when we have unorthodox colors, especially like the green they went with is not like normal green. It's lime green. It's space green. They're cool. They look cool. Look nice on the table. And again, I keep teasing this thing, but we'll get to the colors in a second and why that's important. I don't know why there are little stickers. That's an odd, and isn't that odd that it's not... Isn't it odd that it's not even? Isn't it odd that they got all these little stickers and then one's missing from the end? I hope it didn't rub this space bag. There's no space bag in this. Well, there are plastic space bags full of dudes. And we'll, you know what? Let's set those aside and we'll crack into those in just a moment. I said that these were the ships. These are not the ships. These are alternate sort of like orbiting space stations that go on the side of the board. This game's not too bad of a table hog. I'm finding lately games I get are just like, oh, surely you have like 4 acres of table space to lay this thing out on. This one's not too bad. I just have like a 4-foot round table from IKEA over here, and I'm zoomed in pretty close. I wonder if I can activate this and pull back out here. Pulling out like prom night. There's a little bit better. I gotta maybe move that over a bit here. Let's see if I can adjust that for you. Oh, look at that, live tech tweaks. Yeah, so you kind of get a sense. There's my meaty man hands. So it's just a board. It's these 4 of these things, and then that's how big your ship is. So there's going to be room on the table to play this game, which is a nice change of pace, I think. Cool. Nexto, pirate tokens. There are bad guys. There are space pirates floating around doing space piratey things, and it's naughty. And that's all I can tell you about it because once again, it's only been a month or two, and I've absolutely forget. But there's little prizes on here. One of the prizes is like you can get like a gold colored like C-3PO droidy kind of worker to go, and maybe he's a wild worker. I forget what he does, but he's good. He's good to have. So these are all like hidden piratey things, and when you fight pirates, you flip that over and get some kind of prize. I believe, if I recall correctly, that's what the situation is with these. Stickers are for dual layer. Oh, thank you. But how do they work? Oh, the rulebook will certainly tell me, but that's to ensure that these don't flap open like Pac-Man, right? Da. Oh look! There's further clues. Are they double-sided? Is that it? Is double-sided tape, and we can just like, I don't want to peel one off because it's go time right now, but I shouldn't. I should not. But yes, it looks like it indicates what we're supposed to do with them. I don't know. We'll check the book in just a second. Great. Hi, Pirati tokens. Following that, we have the other parts of the ships that I was going to tell you about, and that dovetails nicely into the fun surprise I had to show you. You ever do that? You're like, I really hope I did. You like hold it up to the light so before you throw it in the recycling bin. I throw these in the recycling bin. They do not get recycled. So many of the things that we throw into the recycling bin in North America, they're just like, yeah, no, it's not gonna. Like 3 plastic bottles, I think, make it through a week, and that's about it. Sorry to depress you. It's the truth. First time chat. Oh, here we go. Cleavesy says, I want to offer promotion to your channel. Buzz off. So we don't have our moderators today. DJ McBee is in bed because he's in Britain land, and Omelette is doing a Christmas thing with his family. How selfish. So there's nobody who can kick Cleavesy the heck out of here. I wonder if I can do it. Can I do it? Can I boot? Yeah, I can pin it. I don't want to do that. I can reply to it. I don't want to do that. How do I boot Cleavesy? Yay, Rise back. Hey, Davo, good to see you. Be on spam. Yeah, how do I? Let's go. Hey, let's take a journey together. I'll switch to the screen, and then we can find out together how to. That's something I want to show you in a second. All right, let's get the keyboard out and let's get Cleavesy out of here. Twitch.tv/Knights Around Table. Hopefully we won't get too much feedback on here, and we'll go into. Welcome to the chat room. That's cool. Where is this guy? Yeah. How do we mod him? How do we mod? I don't even know. What do I have to click on to get rid of him? It's not a right click thing. It's it's got to be something. I don't know. I don't know. Do you know? Try slash kick. Oh yeah, let's try that. Let's try slash kick. And of course, it's like not an easy thing to type in. Cleavesy 97 small o. Cleavesy 97 small o. Unrecognized command kick. All right. Well, do you recognize ban? Thank you. Hey, Omelet. Thank you for subscribing. I thought you were doing a Christmas thing. Omelet, I'm glad you're here because we need we need the ban hammer brought down. Get Cleavesy out of here. Get him out of here. I'll leave that to you. I know Inception View went a bit bonkers for a second. We had to go into the we had to hack the mainframe. It was very exciting. But yeah, if you could give the old heave ho to Cleavesy 97 lowercase o, we'd appreciate it. He's being a tool. Flex them mod muscles, indeed. This to me looks like a start player token. I can't even remember using it. Well, why is it all so blurry? My goodness. Because we were sleep deprived and we were at a conference full of 80 bazillion people, roughly, and it was like the last day and we dragged ourselves there and it's like, oh, time to learn a new board game. We're like, oh my gosh. Ooh. I'm not going to punch everything out for you, but you get the idea. You get the, get some nice die cuts on some things. I believe damage tokens. I can't remember, but the ships is what I want to talk about. And we'll talk before we go to the ships, let's look in the baggies because this is a key component of this thing. So you've got different peeps. And notice that these peeps are not in the player colors. They are in primary colors and gray. It's like, I'm sky blue. I'm fire. I'm gray. Sorry, buddy. Cool. So these are your workers. That's why they're not in the player colors, because everybody gets a certain number of each worker and they go on your board like so. Like so. They go like this. I can't remember how many I have. They go in your available pool right down here, and each one's kind of like better at a different thing than another, and when you use them from your pool they go up and slide up here and they end up lining up here, and you can only use so many of them, and they go in a certain order, and that order matters. And then, like I said, if you defeat certain pirates or get certain perks, you get these guys who are little like they're right on the cover, but they're like little, I wonder, hey, join. Do you think that the close-up camera works? What are the odds that it just works right out of the box? Let's see. Oh my God. The close-up camera does not work. So we're just going to have to deal with it like this. Are we still dealing with Cleavesy over here? Looks like they're gone. Yeah. Take a high hit the bricks, Cleavesy. All right. So we got these little, they're kind of like, now that I have them in my hand, they're kind of not quite, they're a bit bronze or brassy, right? These little guys, little androids. And I believe, I can't remember, but I believe they are wild. But what I do remember is that you get these little rings, and certain times through doing certain actions, you're able to promote your people by putting a little hula hoop on them and making them, now that they've got this little ring on them, now they're more powerful. And I can't remember, they can do double actions or something cool like that. Anyway, I'm not doing the game service or justice at all. And Peter's probably sitting there, like gripping his chair the entire time. What is he saying? My life's work. Sorry, Peter. Welcome to Nights Around a Table. Great. All right, these are the other pieces to the little space ships. We're getting there. You can tell what I'm building up to, I'm sure. You've been following the internet all. And these other little bits have been floating around the box just kind of loose, which sort of surprised me. And then the bit that we saw at the beginning of the stream is this thing, and somehow this folds and this is going to become a ship, but I admit I'm probably going to have to look at the instructions to figure out how that goes. Look with me. All right, here we go. So Pac-Man's together, and this thing also this thing also folds. So this is the image I'm looking at right here, and then it goes like kind of like this, and I guess there's two of them, and so I gotta go find the other one like this, and then the other one is hiding somewhere over here. That one's pink. There we go. Green. like this, and we fold it, and it goes here like this, and tuck that in just like so. Just like so. And there you go. A little bit of arts and crafts, and that is what your little starship looks like. Pretty cute. Pretty cute. That's a cool marker, and anybody would be proud to have that as their marker, right? Yes, we're going to play with that, and we're happy. Right? Well, I say nuts to that. And again, I say nuts. And that's because these were originally supposed to be plastic models, but I'm not going to suggest that CGE cheaped out. I wouldn't say that at all. That's rude. Just in order to keep the game at a certain price point, they decided to go with cardboard instead of plastic, just so that everybody could afford and enjoy this game. I don't know what it retails for, but I do have a timed go buy this game link. You can go to Amazon and tell me what it retails for by following that link. Please let me know in the chat. And that's how I trick people into clicking on my affiliate links. Great. So they went with cardboard instead, but then they did something really, really cool. And if I could brown nose CG just a little bit more, I'm going to say this. They do things that other publishers don't do, and I wish that other publishers would follow suit and do these things, because CGE's got their act together in a number of ways that other publishers don't. And one of the main ways is, you see at the bottom of the screen right now where it says Deal with the Devil and Starship Captains. Those are the word marks for the games that you'll find just on, on the front of the box. That's that. As an isolated PNG file, ping file, so all the background's removed, and so you can grab that and stick it over anything, right? You can put it on a thumbnail, whatever. So if you go to their site and you go to the press section of the site, they have every single game that they have ever put out, and it's a clickable link for every single one of them. You click that link, and there's a press kit. Imagine that. There's a press page with a press kit, you guys. And with each press kit, they give you that graphic so that you can use it on your thumbnails or on the bottom of your Chrome or whatever you're doing on your live stream. And you can properly, nicely, beautifully promote their stuff for free. And if you were the PR marketing manager of a company, wouldn't you want to do that? You'd think so. What you wouldn't want to do, I'm getting a little bit salty here. I'm going to try not to, but what you wouldn't want to do is be like a certain other company I contacted a couple of weeks ago, and I said, like, hey, we're doing a live stream for one of the games in your library. Can I get an isolated word mark from the game? And the person, the person whose job it is, the public relations and marketing, replied and said, no. And it's like, normally when people turn me down, I'm just kind of like, well, nuts to those guys. I guess I won't be doing anything with those games. But like in that particular situation, that got under my skin so badly. I was just like lying awake in bed that night thinking like, no, why would you say no? I don't understand that at all. So I was feeling kind of anti-establishment. So I wrote back and I was like, why? Like, why wouldn't you? Not like something obvious you can do as a PR person for a board game company. Why wouldn't you offer that? The person's like, we don't give that out. I'm like, what? In what universe would? It made no sense to me. Anyway, so later, as it turns out, we did the live stream, and what I have to do when companies don't provide those graphics for me is I have to go to BoardGameGeek. I go and I find the board game, and I hope that the publisher has uploaded a large enough graphic of the cover of the box, big enough for me to work with. And then I take that graphic into Photoshop, and then before they just released a really cool tool in Photoshop that does object isolation. But before that, I had to go in with a tool called the pen tool, and I'd click, and go like all the way around the title work and cut out the background and create my own isolated, and they have it just kicking around. They have it to give, but they don't get. Oh my God, the heart's acting up. Give me an aspirin. This is it. This is the big one, Gracie. I don't understand. They have it. What's it for if you're not going to give it to people to promote your games for free? It's weird. Anyway, what was I saying? Get so upset. Right, so we're going to look at some cards, and then we are going to say goodbye to Starship Captains for the moment. But yeah, beautiful stuff, really cool artwork, as you'll see on these cards in a second. And lighter gameplay, I would say, if you want to compare it to another CGE title, like Lost Ruins of Arnak. Lost Ruins of Arnak goes 6 rounds. This one goes 4 rounds. So you can see at the top of the board, there are 2, 3, 4. There's 4 rounds in the game. Oh, that's the 1 to 3 player side of the game. When you flip it for, I assume, 4 players, there's more stuff, more planets, more places to visit. So I would say that it is, if you played Arnak and you found Arnak a little too heavy for your liking, this is a little bit lighter than Arnak. If you played Arnak and it was too light for your liking, this will be too light for you, if that makes sense. Hope so. Cards. But I don't know, if you find Arnak like way too light, maybe you like eat games like this for a snack, and it's just like, oh, in between the 2 7-hour gaming sessions, we'll just play a light game of Starship Captains just to cleanse our palates. I don't know, maybe some people, I see messages from people just like, oh, we played such and such as a filler. I'm like, oh my god, that's not a filler. Like, that would be an evening for my group, because we, you know, certain friends that I play with, we take our time, we play a little bit more slowly, we have some snacks, we catch up. So, you know, but sometimes you just have game days where it's just like, we need to play 9 games, go. And you're like, one time, shut up and keep playing. Okay, I'm sorry, Ray. Please don't hit me again. No, just kidding. Ray's nice. Arnak is perfect weight for me, says Ekin. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason I think that Arnak has done so well for them, and I'm really excited to know to find out that there's a second expansion on the way. It was mentioned by the game designers on BoardGameGeek, but it sounds like they were trying to get it out this year, but it's not quite going to make it this year. But next year, hopefully, we can watch out for it. We played the heck out of the first expansion. Let me tell you, the first expansion was really cool. So hopefully they're able to. Now, on the subject of expansions and board game companies I quite like Lookout Games, but I was looking forward to the expansion to Caverna. And then I watched Luke Hector do a rundown on it, and he wasn't bullish on it. Now I'm kind of bummed out about it. I don't know. Kind of sad. There's another thing. As long as I'm complaining. To board game companies who don't give out their logos. Oh my god, that reminds me of what I was actually talking about when I started telling that story. So not only ADHD for the win. Not only can you go to Czech Games Edition, and if you're press, you can get a nice press kit with box shots in the lobby. If you were here, nobody was here from the beginning, but I had 2 box shots in the lobby, and I just got those from the site. And not only, like, it wasn't, sometimes you need a box that's oriented left, and sometimes you need one that's oriented right, and sometimes you need a head-on one, and sometimes you need a top-down one. They had all of those. They had like 5 different angles of the boxes. Come on, you can't beat that. So they had planned to put out plastic ships. They didn't put out plastic ships to keep the cost of the game down. But then they thought, hey, maybe people just want to print their own plastic ships, so we'll give them the STL files. How amazing is that? So they just gave out these STL files, and you can just go print them either on your FDM printer or on your SLA printer. I have both printers, and I like the quality of the resin printers. Not so much the cancer, but I like the quality. I'll sacrifice the health for quality. So this is what they look like. I'm going to put one, where's the little green ship that I had? Let me dig it out just to compare the cardboard ships versus so they're about the same size, and they're kind of like a similar design in that they both have sort of like a Enterprise-esque saucer in front and a couple of fins, sort of, but these are more like race car racing fins, and these are more like, I don't know, please don't sue us, Paramount Pictures kind of fins. But they look, they look really cool, right? Don't they? And I wanted to go, the reason why I had this screen thing up is because I wanted to go to BoardGameGeek and show you a couple of, whoa, my gosh. Here, let's go over here. Great. So this is them. This is what they look like. Let me just make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Hold on. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Yes, you are. Great. So this is what they look like. You don't need 2 sets of them. You only need 1. So you print them on 1 and you're good. Everybody gets a ship. They've done it on an FDM printer here. So one of the things I don't like about FDM printers is that you can kind of, you can see the resolution lines. and with SLA you can't. But I mean, these look pretty darn cool. The other thing is that if you wanted them to look this good, you would have to have these colors to print with, and you notice this green, I don't know if it's the photo, but that green's a little bit off, but that green's perfect. The blue looks a little bit different, but I prefer, I don't know, I like doing resin stuff and painting them. So here's somebody who printed them off on an Ender FDM printer. That's the one with the plastic spool that you stick in there. They look sharp though, right? Like cool. Now, this is where I went completely bonkers crazy, because I was like, this paint job is sick. Look at this. Who did this? Well, shout out to Palladium One, because this looks awesome. So I have, let me jump back to OBS here. I have already printed a set and tried to paint them like this. I ran into a couple of problems because what I didn't realize is that, so I went and I primed everything in black from a rattle can. And then I went in and you just went straight in with the silver, and the silver goes on really kind of streaky and patchy when you go right on top of black. So it looks like, I don't know what this person did, but like I say, I gave those first ones away as a gift, and now I've got this second set. And so what I'm going to do with the second set is I'm going to spray them black. Here we are down here. I'm going to spray them black, and then I'm going to, after they dry, I'm going to tape them off here so I get a hard line on the bases, because I thought that paint job was awesome with the really sharp black base. So I'm going to tape them off here, and then I'm going to spray them on the top either white or like a light gray, just to prime them nicely. And then I think that silver is going to go on the light gray a lot better. And I'll do like a wash so that I can get, like if we go back to this guy's paint job, Palladium One's paint job, he's got like, nice black in the grooves and stuff. And I think that I can achieve that with a wash after I get a nice, but my silver went on really streaky, and I wasn't happy with that. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool, right? So good on them. I only know of, maybe you know of more games than I do who do this, but I think I only know of one other board game that actually released the STL files that you could use to print stuff out to put in your board games, and that was Xia Legends of a Drift System. So it's really neat. That game was made to be modded, right? The designers said, we want you to make your own cards, we want you to make your own missions, we want you to make your own ships. So that game has amazing little mini ships, and they come pre-painted. Like, you get painted ships with that game. It's not a cheap game, but it's an amazing, I love that game so much. But so what they did was they released the STL files, and what's nice for all the ships that are in the game. So if you lose a ship, you can reprint one, or if you want to mod it. So the modding thing is cool, because what do you call it? The whole, when you put the stand, the stand, it's the, of the ship, the butthole of the ship, because you've got the actual STL files that they use to make the ships in the games, you can basically take that into Blender or your favorite 3D software, and you can like erase everything but the butthole, you know what I mean? So that you know that you have the right circumference of that aperture for the stand to fit in, and then you can just go and model whatever the heck ship that you want on top of that and print that out and put whatever ship you want inside Xia. Oh my gosh, so exciting. And that's a project that I've been excited to do, but I got a bazillion other projects that I'm working on, this one included, the Starship Captains one. So I'm going to, oh, what's going on over here? No, not now. Thank you. It's like, would you like to update your offer? No, I'm streaming right now. So don't bug me. What am I trying to say here? Ah, yes. So I've got an episode. A Bits Please coming up. Stop. Enough. We saw it. Once was fine. And it's going to be devoted just to painting these up with a special tool that I have just been gifted by a very generous patron. And I'll tell you more of that story when the episode's out. Cool. 3D ships. Cool, right? Like would you print these out? Obviously you would. If you owned this game and you had a 3D printer, you'd obviously print these out. Would you send money? Not to me, I don't care. I'm not going to do it because it's work, but would you send money to somebody to have them printed out for you? Would you send the STL files? Maybe some cities have like print shops where you can pay them. Sometimes you can go even to your public library. Sometimes your public library has FDM printers. The one here in my town, Oshawa, a bunch of the libraries have FDM printers. They're a little bit older. I forget what they are. Not MakerBots. maybe MakerBots, but they charge by the hour. I remember one time I went in and I tried to ask them to print a board game insert, and they were like, "Oh my God, no! This thing that you want to print, it's going to take 7 hours." And it's funny because now that I print stuff all the time, like 7 hours, what are you, lightweight? Like that's nothing. It's nothing. I just printed something that took friggin' a day and a half. The library was not having it. To these cards. My gosh. These cards are cool. So these are little missions that you can take, like escort the ambassador, trade negotiations, distress call. You can answer a distress call. And these are what go on the little slots over here, I believe, if I remember correctly. So you can go to planets and you can take missions. And the colors are the, I think if I can remember correctly, the types of workers that you have to send down to the planet in order to resolve those missions. So it's kind of like, it's a similar thing to what you've seen in other games that have like, recipe fulfillment. A lot of these games come down to, here's a card, it's got some colors on it, you come up with the right colors and you fulfill the recipe. So, there's lots of them. What's the D&D? Well, Lords of Waterdeep does it. Tons of games. So, and then you get perks and prizes. You get, end game bonus points for taking missions. So that is the missions deck. But lots of great artwork in there. Lots of nods to Star Trek-esque episodes, not actual episodes, because we don't want to get, but they're cool. The Jewel, ancient puzzle, so neat. Cool looking characters. I like games that imply a whole universe that you don't actually, how do I say it? The game doesn't take place there really, but it hints at this larger world that's happening around the game. It's kind of cool. I like that. The world building aspect of the game, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. There's some cards in the missions deck. Sorry I can't show those to you in close-up because again, let's switch to the close-up camera and see how that's doing. No, still completely black. It's perturbing, isn't it? Hold on, just one moment. Let me click a couple buttons here. Oh, I know why. What if I hit this button? Oh, hey, it's very dark. Oh my gosh. Turn the light on. Is that better? No, it's still very dark. Still dark. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, people sell them on Etsy. I wonder if they can. I don't know what license CGE put on them. But I mean, like, if it's maybe that's what they intended. I don't know. Maybe it's like that's extremely goodwill if it is like, we're not going to make money on them. You go ahead, which is the kind of like Uno reversi of what Starling Games did, where they wanted to put out like 3D printed containers and they actually went to Etsy and like sent lawyer letters to shut everyone down so nobody could buy anything but what they made. Just kind of a dirtbag move, if you ask me. Cool. These are cards that do things. Thank you. I'm the expert on this game. More fantastic artwork. When I played this game, not all of these cards had artwork on them, so it's nice to see that they now do. Look at that. There's one that I didn't see when I played. Nyan Observer. Cute. It's a robot bird. They look cool, don't they? It's good artwork. If you like the style, you like the style. I like the style. Dadgummit. Great. That's Starship Captains. See, in a nutshell. Hopefully you know everything there is to know about the game now, really. Very cool style. Yeah, it is a really cool style, right? You know what? I didn't look up the artist. Maybe we can just switch the screen and grab my keyboard and we can look up the artist, because I hate Peter Hofgaard, who will be watching this stream, is the designer, but of course he's an important person in the whole process. But as we know, art sells games. So let's take a quick look over the own Starship Captains. The artist is Oh, there's a bunch. Oh my goodness. That's another thing that I think is worth shouting out when you see it done well, is there are art directors who have, if the game needs to hire multiple artists, there's somebody there who has to keep them all in line and make sure that everyone's stuff looks like it's drawn by the same person. And so because I couldn't tell that it wasn't drawn by the same person, that person did a great job. So here they all are. Some names I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. One of the things that I did when I went to visit the CGE room at Gen Con was I talked to a couple of staffers. I was like, I just want to know how to pronounce some of these Czech names. Please help me. I want to know how to pronounce Vladimir Suchy. So like I'm calling a dog. Or Vladimir Vlada Hvadel. So I wasn't going to come up with that one on my own. But I almost bought one of Vladimir's games yesterday. I was at the board game store and he's got Woodcraft, which has, speaking of artwork, I don't know if I'm so big on the artwork on the front of that one because there's like a green-haired elf standing over a table. Hold on, let's look at it. It's the poor elf looks like she's been to Vietnam. We actually just a second. If you haven't seen the cover of this thing, wait, click. What? Just like that 1,000-yard stare, like oh my god! Did you see that? Did I switch to the right camera? It's funny anyway. We're actually using that as an emote on the Knights Around the Table Discord server. It's pretty goofy. Great. That's a great question, Soften Eraser. Which other Arnak weighted games Soften Eraser wants to know if Ekin Coker, what does Ekin enjoy? Yes, tell us, Ekin. It's the Ekin Show. We'll wait. All that tomfoolery aside, I'm excited to play Starship Captains again without the terrible scourge of Ray weighing down on me. But when we talk about excitement, can I just say, oh boy, excitement, thy name is Deal with the Devil. Let me say a couple things about Deal with the Devil. First of all, when they announced this game and the name, I grew up a good Christian kid and I was not into it. I was like, oh my God, why would you call a game Deal with the Devil? It was a turn off right away because I was, I came of age partially in the 80s when it's like you couldn't play D&D because it's satanic. I didn't have as bad as I was just reflecting when I worked for a video game store. A kid came in and his parents were Jehovah's Witness and he said, I want a game. I want to rent a game, but it can't have any powers in it. Because Jehovah's Witnesses have this thing where the only power is by Christ alone, and you can't. There's powers derived from nowhere. So they were really careful with their kids. They don't want their kids messing with anything that has powers. And I was just like looking around the video game store, like the kid wants a game with no powers, and I was like, kid, you're in the wrong place. It's a bit of a challenge. Great. So that was the first thing. The name was a turnoff. But then when I went and I talked to them at the booth, I found out a little bit more about it. And so remember, this is Czech Games Edition for Startsies. They're from the Czech Republic. They're surrounded by certain imagery that a guy like me in the West may not see all that much, but there is like an art history of the Christian church in Eastern Europe that uses certain symbolism, and that symbolism is here. What is up with this fish guy? Please tell me. Have you ever seen like a painting like the Garden of Earthly Delights? It's like that kind of stuff with this creepy looking dude over here and this weird winged fish going on and this lion, this bishop. Like, so it's playing on that. It's deriving inspiration from that arena. And so I felt a little bit more at ease when I found that out, that there was kind of like an artistic and storytelling history tied to the church that is more prevalent and prominent in a place like Czech Republic that served as an inspiration for this. It is by Matouš Kotry. Matouš is fantastic at designing games. He designed one of my all-time favorite games, which is called Alchemists, which is also from Czech Games Edition. And Alchemists is bonkers. Alchemists is a kind of like a grid logic puzzle that you're trying to solve while playing a worker placement game, and it has a place as one of the funniest games I've ever played, because it's also a satirical commentary on academia. So one of the things that you're doing as you're trying to figure out this grid logic puzzle while you're playing this worker placement game, you are publishing your findings, but you're encouraged to publish your findings early, so early that you might not be correct. So you're just on it, like kind of like a hunch. You're like, I think this is right. And you go and you publish your findings, and then you get like all these accolades and points and everything. Later on, players can come in and be like, wait a second, I've done my own research and this guy's full of crap, and they can come in and debunk you. But then that takes the effort and that takes people away from them, and they stand to gain points. But if they're wrong, then they fall into disgrace. It's very funny, very wry satire. I love satire. So I'm hoping that we get something similar with this. Very funny, very wry satire is what I'm hoping for. You might have missed Alchemists because it's an app-driven game, an app-supported game, and Deal with the Devil is also an app-supported game, and I've downloaded the app ahead of time. However, now that I'm here streaming, I realize it's on the phone that is now shooting my face. So I don't know if we can take a look at it. Ill-prepared. Curious what Ryan's answer to that is actually. Ekin wants to know, what other Arnak weight games do I enjoy? Let me just look around my collection here. It's behind the screen that I'm looking at. Arnak weight games that I enjoy. I've had a lot of fun this year with Praga Kaput Regni. That one's cool, and that's a Vladimir Suki game, I believe. So that one's cool. If you like the deck building aspect of Last Ruins of Arnak, you can't go wrong with something like Clank. And there are 3 different main versions of this. There's Clank, and there's Clank in space, and then there's like Acquisitions Incorporated, which is a thing. The guys who do the Penny Arcade comic and who do PAX, the conference series, wrote a campaign Clank, and that's what that's all about. So that one's cool. Similar weight, I would say Obsession is a similar weight game and lots of fun. And just like think about what you like about Arnak. One of the things I like about it is that it's just oozing with theme. I love things that ooze theme and incorporate theme very, very well. And so Obsession incorporates theme exceedingly well. It's like an upstairs, downstairs kind of Downton Abbey kind of thing where you have to keep up appearances and you have to impress other families and you have to host lavish parties and have the right people to come to them. And if you have, cads and just moochers come to your parties, then you lose your reputation. It's fun. It's really cool. Obsession is awesome. Yes, you're right, Ekin. It's such a good game. And that was purchased for me by you patrons. Thank you very much once again for doing that. A few games that you guys have recommended and purchased for me. Zaya was another one. I absolutely, totally love Zaya. Now, Zaya, I wouldn't say is the same weight. Zaya has a lot of picky, borderline obnoxious rules that I can never remember, and I'm always writing the rule book really hard when I play that game. It shouldn't be quite so difficult, but I still really like it because it's a sandbox game. I love sandbox games. Cool. Anything else about this before I open it? Oh yeah. So when I asked the certain people at CGE, I won't name them, but when I asked them like, hey, what's up with Deal with the Devil? I got a real quick run through from one of their PR people that made me all the more excited to play the game. When I asked somebody about it, the person was like, that game is crazy, right? And the person seemed like overwhelmed by it. I was like, oh yes, this will find a home in my collection. This will do nicely. They asked me, CGE did, they said, we got 2 games. We got Starship Captains and Deal with Devil. We might have some review copies. Would you like review copies of this game? Let us know. Tell us which one, you'd like, this one or both. So I said, like, honestly, I'd take both from you because I love your games. But if you can only send one, sorry, Peter, but if you can only send one, make it Deal with the Devil. Super excited about it. The last weird thing that I'll tell you about Deal with the Devil before we open it, and this is a real, like, if app-based wasn't a rule breaker to begin with, this might just totally do it in for you. It is 4 players only. You cannot play 3 players. You cannot play 5 players. 2 players, no. 1 player, right out. Forget about it. 4 players or nothing. So I have 2 people coming over tomorrow, and then my wife Cheryl will play. I will play. That will be 4. If anybody else comes to the door, we will lock it and see you later. So that's what's going on. Let's get. This is cool. This is fun too. They put a sticker on here. We unintentionally marked a soul as being a spare part. It is not. Please use it. What a nightmare. Could you imagine putting a product out and they're like, oh crap. It's kind of reminds me of the most recent oh crap moment I had was when I opened up Terracotta Army from Board and Dice. And there was like, they have this wheel and a like a, you know, turny nipply thing that goes in the middle of the wheel. So, you know, the little clasp thing, the 2-piece clasp thing, and they glued it inside the box, but like in sort of like a tucked away, hard to find place. And I cannot imagine the number of phone calls and emails they're getting like, I need a replacement thing because mine wasn't in the box. And they have to say, oh my gosh, check, it's in there, it's glued. The box suffered a little bit of damage on the way here, so we basically have to throw the whole thing out. And that's the stream, everybody. No, that sucks, but whatever. What are you going to do? Again, I paid $0 for the game, so I'm very appreciative that I have it. And there is not an insignificant amount of arts and crafts going on with this game. Let me just back up here so we can see more. Ooh. Again, par for the course with CGE. No insert to speak of. Boo. But hopefully the gameplay makes up for that. Oh, look, and they found these in some Stonemaier games, these little plastic things, but these are branded CGE. So little, I like those little containers that you can put resources in while you play. Nice. Though Stonemaier, if you get Wingspan, you get a couple of these, but you don't get enough of them. So there's like, I don't know, something like 5 food resources and they give you 4 containers. It's really dumb. It's just, you know, anybody with OCD is just gonna, this is weird. So why am I getting just little cardboard things just floating around? Just says, hey, we punched this one out for you. Whoa, here's another one. This little guy. Okay, let's be careful and not lose these because, I don't know, maybe these are important. Who knows? You go over here. Ha! Aha! Aha! These remind me of pieces that you might see in, I think, like Pulsar 2849. So, common to multiple CG games. Some cards that we'll look at in a second. This deck, roughly estimated, perhaps, potentially 50,000 cards in there. Some baggies. Enough baggies? I don't know. I won't know until we play. Basically, I want to get this open because I have to learn it tonight so that we can play it tomorrow. And I will report back perhaps on the Discord server about how that went. So please join us on the Discord server. Oh my gosh. Where's the graphic for that one? There we go. Please, all are welcome. It's fun. Some of these components look like they're folded and have suffered a bit of damage inside the box. Weird. Okay. I don't know if I could do any better. Who knows? All right. The game rules. This is my reading material for the evening. I know one thing you're doing, but look at this. This, like I said, arts and crafts, there's assembly that you have to do. There's these player screens and they're like dual layered. We'll see that in a second. You got to get the app. I thought it was funny when you download the app, and the first screen says like, this is a companion app for the board game Deal with the Devil by Czech Games Edition. Do you have that game? There's like a button where you have to confirm and say, yes, I own the game, because I just wonder like how many people downloaded like the Alchemist's companion app and they were like poking around like, what's this stupid game supposed to do? I don't understand. This is the word. Then they go rate it like 1 star in the App Store because they don't understand that it's not its own game. So I wonder if they added that just, you know, so that just to tell dum-dums. Great. Rulebook. You can tell already the difference between this and something like Starship Captains. The density is up. It's up. Lots of picture examples though. That's always something that I appreciate and look for in a rule book. But I will read that later. But yes, this plays around with the idea of indulgences and bartering for souls. I know that of the 4 players, one of them plays the devil, one of them plays like this bishop or cardinal, this church head, and then the other 2 I think are the fish and the little demon thing that they're like acolytes, or there's a whole, I don't know. I was told at Gen Con, and I've promptly forgotten what the heck those guys are. great. A whole pile of cardboard to punch out resources. We got wood, we got grain, we got busts of a naked lady. Is that a lady? I can't even tell. Something's going on with that individual. And then it's crowns and coins and oh my word. Oh my word. Look at hours of punching fun for you and the whole family. Great. One of these things. Weird resource. Like this one has like little horns. What's going this? Why is this icon here? This put it in a box. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm not going to touch that because I don't want to mess it up. But oh, there's the hello. It's like one of those board books for babies. Hi, I'm Joey the Worm. Cool. So I guess this piece is not that important. I hope I'll just stick it right back in there. For it's not going to stay. Okay, great. Next, great. Here's one of the things. Oh, look, here's where one of these guys came from. So we've got a few more floating around in the box. Here they are. Here's one of the player boards. I'm going to punch that out in a second. We see we can assemble that. Containers are nice, though. Yes, I agree, Zero Aperture. He needs them. This is the board, and the board has cutouts in it to put stuff. So we pop. Nice thick board, nice cutouts. That's not something I see very often. Is pardon me. Whew, Dr. Pepper, you know, the main board has cutouts in it. Look at this. To hold cube, I presume a cube going down a track. That's pretty cool, though. Okay, nobody wants to watch me punch that out. But that's the board. That's the main board. Kind of dark. I think this is the same artist as Alchemists. Maybe somebody can hit BGG and tell me if I'm full of nonsense or not. And when you're done with these, you can cut your steak. Off we go. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Whoa. Oh my. What are you? I like that when they decide something needs an interesting edge, so they do a whole die cut on it. Oh my gosh. Oh my word. What on earth? This is oh my god, we're going to have to pop this out and see what's going on. So this whole shazazz gets yanked out and covers up one of those things. And I wonder if it's like the Starship Captains starships, and we're going to find little stickers in here to glue that whole thing together. Right? So again, another nice way to handle recessed boards. Build it yourself, recessed board. And we like recessed boards, don't we, kids? It's a major selling point for games these days. Nobody wants their game to be prey to earthquakes and or cats knocking pieces around. Or kid, you ever play and you have kids coming up to the table? This happened to me numerous times where the kid comes up and like, what'd you guys do? And like shoves the whole thing, cubes everywhere, hours of progress lost. Not closed fist, like theoretical closed fist, not actual. Don't hit your kids. Cool. That's fun. Tracks. Oh my gosh. Tracks on top of tracks. Hey kids, I heard you like tracks. Oh my gosh, there's those horns, that dagger. Neato. Here's another one of these player boards. These are some stuff. I can't even tell you. Ooh, look, they're little standees. They're little standees, and you pop them out. You pop this thing out, and you're going to fold this thing back, and you're going to take this, and you're going to go to-do, like this, and then, no, maybe not. That doesn't work. I don't know. Let's be patient and look at the rule book. I'll pop this out, and this guy comes out, and we'll make this come out. Woo. You guys excited about this game? I'm excited about this game. I cannot believe that I'm playing it tomorrow. Oh my gosh. So thrilling. Now, I do have a buy this game link floating by for Starship Captains in chat. You may have noticed, but oh, you hate that. You hate that when that rips, eh? When the die isn't quite through all the way. We'll survive. However, I do not have, what was I saying? I do not have a buy this game link for Deal with the Devil because I'm not too sure. I should have done my research better. I'm not too sure when it's out. I notice it's not on Amazon currently, although Starship Captains is. I've almost called it Starship Troopers about 15 times during the stream. Don't do that. Don't do that. No lawsuits, please. Thank you. We'll put that over there. Another component to the, there's so much things. What is this? I just skirted right past this, but this is significant and important. Look at this, you get a whole wheel. It's a whole wheel, guys, with a thing in it. You do wheelie stuff. Look, oh my word. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm on Art Attack right now. Oh. Heckin' what? I haven't seen a, oh, here they are. These are the, what are these called? Nipples? What was I taught? What do you call these? Clasp? No, not clasps. Pivots? I don't know what you call, eyes? You call them eyes? Maybe? You know, clasp a wheel together. But it looks like there are going to be multiple wheels because they gave us so many of these, and note that they're in a baggie and not glued into a weird obscure spot in the box. Good on you. So does every player gets a wheel? Perhaps? I don't know. I don't even know. There's this whole wall. Oh my gosh. This is kind of like a little bit like if you buy Alchemists, there's a whole like, you got to put together these player screens, these crazy cauldrons. So Matouche likes this wacky, like, there's a big castle wall. I think there's going to be, wait till you see this thing assembled. I can't wait either. I'll just pop out a couple more things here. Oh my gosh. I wish the space-based boards were recessed. Space-base. 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 What is space-base? Is space-base the one where you roll dice and everybody gets stuff? Is that the one? And there's a market of cards that you can buy? Is that space-base? I think that's space-base. Please let me know. Oh my god, chests! There are chests as well? My word, the chests have... Oh, right! I remember seeing these at Gen Con. So the chests need those little eyes, those little turning nipple connectors, because you do stuff on your chests and then you like... You know, you pivot it out and reveal a thing because it's a hidden role game, hidden identity game. So nobody knows who anybody is. Everybody has souls except the devil, and everybody wants souls to do different things. So the devil has to be conniving and like take souls from people who have them, and you bid and barter your souls to do things. What things do you do? I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not on CGE's PR payroll. I'm just guessing. I'm just a guy. Okay. Get rid of that, but maybe we can assemble one of these cool chests. Super long player boards, skinny cards. Yes, that's it. I've only ever played Space Base on BGA, so I don't know how it goes, but I've seen shots of it. It's kind of like the yeah, the cards are like all over the place. I don't know, from your lips to their ears, maybe what is that? There's a QR code on the back. What on earth? What? Oh yeah, there's scanning that goes on with the app. I remember that. This is crazy bananas cuckoo. You're supposed to scan your, oh my word. I noticed though in the Alchemists app, it started out, you build these player screens and they're like, they look like cauldrons. And the ledges didn't work that well, and some people kind of ripped them off because, just like me with Starship Captains, they thought a fold line was a rip line, and they ripped the little shelves off, and I'm sure that caused a bunch of headaches. But you got these player screens that look like cauldrons, and then you're supposed to put 2 cards up on the ledge of the cauldron if you didn't rip it off, and then take the app, aim the camera, and scan the cards, and the app is smart enough to tell the difference between a card with a mushroom on it and a card with a lizard on it or whatever, and then derive results from that. But I noticed that in the update to the app, or when the sequel, the King's Golem expansion came out, it looked like they completely ditched that scan thing entirely, and they just had you tap the 2 cards that you were using. And I'm wondering if that's because they had too much troubleshooting difficulty with people who like, oh, I can't get the camera to work because their camera wasn't turned on, or their phone didn't have a camera, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if it was just too much headachy stuff. So it's interesting that with these little chests, they went with whoa, where are they? I don't know. I just put them away. These guys, where they went with QR codes. QR codes, I mean, I find them pretty reliable. I haven't had too much trouble with them. I thought about doing something cool at Gen Con next year. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt that uses QR codes. Would you be interested in that? That might be fun. You guys like solving puzzles? I'm a bit of a puzzle designer. Hey, Don. Hey, welcome. Hey, Don. Glad you could join us. We're just sort of like elbows deep in a lot of crazy stuff with Deal with the Devil, which has unique, bizarre player screens that I will show you in a second, are like multi-level. Oh my gosh. It's a real, I feel like I'm putting together like a model kit right before your eyes, very slowly and frustratingly. Welcome. This game seems like it'll take a bit to build, doesn't it? Though, I mean, if you got stuff to do, this is how I'm spending my Saturday evening because I got to have it all together by tomorrow when the fellas come over to play it. I hope I'm able to get through the rule book fast enough because the Alchemist rule book, let me tell you, it weren't nothing. Everything's fine until you get to the bit about positing your theories, like publishing your theories and then debunking the theories. And it was one of these games where the debunking rule, oh yes, here we go. Here's some stickers. Look, stickers for getting the dual-sided boards to stick together. Good, those are in there. Yeah, it's one of these games where that one mechanic of debunking people's theories was so hairy and so complicated and confusing that they're like, well, here's a lighter version that you start with, and then after you get a handle on that, you work up to it. So it reminds me of like Tricarian, where they're like, don't play with the dark alley, just play without the dark alley and then add the dark alley in later. But then like later you play with the dark alley and you're like, oh man, this is way better. This is how the game is supposed to go from the beginning. So whenever I see that kind of thing these days, I kind of like skip the baby mode because first of all, I don't know if I'm going to get through more than one play of a game these days. There's so many flipping games to play. I just want to play the full version of it. You know what I mean? So nuts to that noise. All right. With the pieces mostly punched, let's delve into the rulebook and see what they can tell us about putting just one of these player screens together. I just want to see one assembled. Okay. Assemble the chests as shown. Apply double-sided tape as shown. Fold to create the bottom half of the chest. The wide-topped rivet goes through the chest's lid and bottom half and then inserts into the other rivet. Rivet! Not nipple, not eye, it's rivet. Riveting. Great. Be sure to do all 4 rivets the same way. Will do. So I promise that I won't succumb to streamer brain and I'll do this correctly. Here's our stickers. And here is the bottom of one chest. We'll assemble one chest and see how it goes. So, look, they even have spots where we can put these. So we'll put one here. Oh, I understand what the tab is. Yes. So that's going to heal off to give us the sticky side on the other side. I love it. Love it. So easy. Even a fool could do it. And I'd know. Great. So those are ready. And then we just look how easy this is. Peel that little guy off and peel that little guy off and peel this little guy off. Would you? And throw it in the garbage pile. Filled with the sticky tape that I put on my chest to stick the microphone to my chest, and it rips my chest hair out every single time I take it back off. That's a true story. Great. Is this a new IP or a remake? I believe, from what I know, this is a brand new thing. Who's talking, Dauncey? This is a totally new thing from Matoush Kotri, who's the guy who designed Alchemists, which I love dearly. Love it. Where are my rivets? Aha. It's interesting that they're particular about which side of the rivet goes in where, right? So these are thickies. Wide topped rivet, that would be this guy, and then here's a thinny. Wide topped? I guess the tops are all the same though, aren't they? Okay. I've got it. Ooh, I've got an A and a B. I've got a keymaster and a gatekeeper. What's a wide-topped rivet? Because they're both the same, but I think they mean this bit's the wide bit. Oh, no, they're showing this going down. Okay, and here, and here. So already, like, you give this to Grandma, and if she's going to have trouble with this part, this is not the game for her. So go up through the bottom. Oh, my. Get in there. And this guy goes in here. And it's going to top. Ha. Uh-oh. I've done it wrong. How could I mess that up? Did I do it backwards? Oh, my word. Only I could mess something this simple up there. Okay. Good. All right. All right. Now we're cooking with proverbial gas. I think, nope, it's not together. Maybe I have it backwards. I don't think I do. The one with the hole in the bottom goes in the bottom. I have it there. I have it pushed in. It's pushed up as far as I can go. The top. Here. Yes. Good. And here. And this one. Wide topped rivet goes through the chest's lid and bottom half and then inserts into the other rivet. Into the chest's lid and bottom half and inserts into the other rivet. What could I possibly be doing wrong except to have these reversed? My goodness. Well, that fit better. So yeah, there you go. So you're able to set stuff here and then like close her up and then put it in the table, I assume. And I think it's made so that you can flip it and scan it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That's that bit. Now, if you thought that was fun, oh my gosh, buckle up because we're going to put a player screen together. Oh my word. Okay. Assemble the player's walls as shown. I'm going to make sure that I get all four the same color. Let's go with the gray blue color because that's branded. That's orange. That's green. Yes, blue. Okay, so what do we do? So they're designed to be disassembled for storage in the box. Ooh, I hate that. I'm the guy who kept his Evertree from Everdell assembled from day one and has never taken it apart just because I read and people were like, oh, you know, it's kind of thing like the cardboard edges get frayed. I was like, no, not me, not going to happen. So, because I hate that. Ugh. So I kept it built from the very day I owned it. And there it remains. And I just bought a wooden tree. So I shall have these difficulties no longer. Punched, ready to rumble. Look at all the tiny symbols on these things. My word, cards go up. This is here. I'll show you. Like this is the top of the player area, right? So this goes in here and like this, and then we go here with the thing and put this over here and hook it. Nope, nope. And then we simply the next step is to. Really? How could I get this wrong? Right here. Okay. Here. And then yes, there's the slot I was looking for. It can be taught. There we go. Haha. Aha. And now this piece. Wait, you're not done yet because there's more noise. So look at this. Oh my, look at this fortress. This fortress of a player, literal fortress of a player screen. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what goes in these little slots, but check this out. Like this is what you're looking at when you're playing the game. Oh God. No God. This is made during the game. I think you have to pull this out. So it's not supposed to like get in there all tight or nothing. But let me just tilt it so that you can see. There's your command center. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh. We were just playing a game. What was it? A couple of weeks ago, we were playing Isle of Skye, and the screens with that were so ridiculous. They're like 2 inches high, and you have to use them to like cover these 3 cards. And so like we all like, you know, we tower 4 feet above the table, so you could clearly see bird's eye view everybody's screen. And we had to one person had like a board game box and had the screen behind the box, another person's like hiding behind the couch, and it's silly. If you want to do a game with player screens, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Darn it, that's the right way to go. Just gonna drink some more burp juice for a sec. Thanks for banning Cleavesy. Take a hike, that guy. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. Glad you're here. I said there would be no trouble, and then the moment you weren't here, Spambot arrives. Look at that, though. How cool is this? Oh, Oh my gosh, look, it's got a whole player guide. Stuff equals things on the thing. My word. My word, I bet that's exciting. Let's crack into some cards too while we're at it. This, I just noticed from the old rule book, this, somewhere on the table is the board. And that is in the following location. It's over here, tucked in. So, it's a bit of a discoloration and fraying on the board, but I think that's okay because you don't play on that side. I think that's okay. So it's like this, that wheel goes in the middle somehow, but there's like a washer that goes underneath it. Assemble the main board is shown. I'll try. Like a washer that goes in the middle of it, and then you put the thingies in the... That looks cool, like Alchemists ×4, doesn't it? Yeah, so Omelette is one of the people that I played the Alchemist, the King's Golem with, and I was so excited. I was so excited when he's like, we're going... You know that moment you're down in front of the board game library and you're all sitting there and it's like, oh, what game should we play? What game should we play? And it's like, oh, we could play Flux. And it's like, yeah, I guess we could. It's like, oh, or we could play Harry Potter Catan. It's like, yeah, I guess we've got enough time for that. You know, it's getting on 11 p.m. And on this glorious day, Omelette takes a look at the collection. And he's like, let's play Alchemist, the King's Golem. I was like, oh my God, I hit the jackpot. Like, heck yes. And that's what we did that night. And man, that was a good time, wasn't it, Alan? We had a great time playing that. I loved it. And it's to the point where I don't know, there's certain expansions where I don't know that I would play the base game without the expansion ever again. And I think that's one of them. Here I am having more difficulties with this, but look, they make it so that it comes out. So you can arts and crafts it on its own. And then I don't even wonder why it has a rivet in it, because you can, okay, so now it's riveted and we got it. I don't know if I did that right, but sure. Cool. Neato. What was I saying about Alchemist, the King's Golem? Right. Expansions that I wouldn't play without the base game, base games I wouldn't play without the expansion anymore. That was one of them because I don't know if you played Alchemists, but it's like, you're doing that logic puzzle. You're trying to figure out the underlying alchemical bits for these different ingredients. And, excuse me, burp juice coming at you. Oh my gosh, how... See you later, microphone. Try water next time, Ryan. My God, my word. Cool. So the reason I wouldn't play Alchemists, I don't think, without it is because one of the issues with Alchemists, if you're going to complain about it, is that you don't always get to figure out like much of the puzzle as early as you'd want to. And it's funny that the game encourages you to publish findings without knowing anything, which is hilarious, but it can be a little bit frustrating or annoying. This in the expansion, you still have to publish without knowing, but it just gives you a faster path to knowing. So what it does is it takes all the alchemicals and it breaks them into two camps. It's either a sun or they're a moon, and so they give you an ability to sort of just like instantly cut out half of the possibilities when you're trying to determine what goes into a certain ingredient or what a certain ingredient entails. It's hard to explain if you've never played the game, but it gives you a faster path to solving the puzzle so that you can play more in that publish your findings area at the top of the board, which I thought was really cool. Neat. Let's open some cards. I want to know what this is. What does this do? Where's the book? Yeah, underneath. I activated the golem. It was awesome. Yeah, that's the other thing you're trying to do. Is that was a really weird thing, really difficult thing for me to try to get my head around. By the way, this is the heaviest game in my collection according to BoardGameGeek's weight ratings on games. There's a golem, and the king wants is like a robot, like the Jewish myth of the clay monster that somebody breathes life into. So you're trying to breathe life into this golem. And I think by feeding it ingredients, same ingredients as the rest of the game, but it's like a certain ingredient, a certain alchemical will make its eyes glow. A certain alchemical will make its chest thump or turn red hot. And you don't know, So like you'll feed it something and nothing will happen. You'll be like, well, that was a waste of time, but it's not, because that gives you a lot of information. It was just weird. Anyway, so it's like one of the other things that you're trying to do, in addition to solving this one logic puzzle, is trying to figure out what this golem wants and what ingredients are going to make it come to life. And if you figure it out in time and you're able to feed it the right things, then you're able to bring the golem to life and earn a bunch of bonus points, which Omelet did and kicked our butts all over the map, which he usually does when we play games together. But it was cool. It was really cool. It was neat and it was satisfying. I think he liked it. We all had a good time. Let's find out how to put these things together. 6 pieces of mortal soul, 99% pure. Fun. Okay. Where are those things? Voting rings, plastic tokens. 2 angry mobs with cardboard stands. Look, it's a piece of cake to put them together. I don't know why I didn't figure it out on my own. You go like this, and you go like this. And they're just standees. But look, everybody, angry mobs. This will be the 3rd game I've played all year with angry mobs in it. I'm not even joking. I played Gathering Gloom, had angry mobs. My Father's Work had angry mobs, and now it's the year of angry mobs in board games, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. And I guess I played Mansions of Madness, also had an angry mob in it. Isn't that weird? That's a weird connection. Varys just won Dwellings of Eldervale by 1 point. Nice. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think that happened to us last week or 2 weeks ago, and somebody was like really mad, like, just a point away. But I like that. It's like, I lost, but I didn't lose by that much. It's more frustrating, I think, when it's like a complete rout, and then you feel like a total moron. Like, why am I even at the game table? Let's look at some cards. The artwork, like I say, in this game is bonkers. Dwellings of Eldervale, have not played it, but that's the one where you put houses on meeple's heads, right? To turn them into dwellings, titular dwellings. All right, so far this artwork isn't super bonkers. So far, you got a shrine, you got a vineyard, catacombs. It looks pretty pretty normal. The rectory nearly killed her. Okay, glassmaker, stone pit. Yeah, nothing about this looks super bonkers. Although you do have these weird little demon guys every once in a while. Wine Cellar, Bank, Stable, Academy, Bell Tower, Hermitage, Monastery, Port Guild Hall, Windmills. They're all buildings. Dam. Tomb. And it looks like, just like we said with Starship Captains, so many of these games, right? The game has a recipe, you pay the things, you get to build the thing, I'm assuming. But yeah, none of this artwork looks too bananas. But wait, I spoke too soon. Here we get into cards with character art on them. If I had rolled better on my last turn, says Kids Love Dragons, I would have won that Dwellings game by 10 points. Like 10 points. Oh, if wishes were horses, Kids Love Dragons. Close games are always fun. Yeah, I appreciate them when they're close. Okay, now character art. Is this where we get a little bit? Look at this guy. That guy looks pretty. He's fine. This guy's a little bit skeezy looking. Whoa, my God. Whoa. Spend a little too much time in the monastery. This guy, the Vandal. Destroy your building with the 2nd highest point value. Whoa. This guy, the orator with the orator's lips. All very stern looking, churchy folks. The profligate, the house guest. Yeah, I don't like the look of some of these dudes, and they've got this guy's got a little dude on his head. Again, this goes back to that weird church imagery that they're drawing from here. Some looks like some voting cards, bidding and voting cards kind of thing going on. Like I say, hidden role game, not to everyone's taste. 4-player only game, definitely not to everyone's taste. Some people just look at like, it takes an app, forget about it. I'll never play it. Well, some of us quite like that and are fine with that. At the Base Games, my #1 game of the year the one that I had the most fun playing and probably played the most, is an app supported game. And I'll leave you that little breadcrumb clue because I'm going to be doing that video. Hopefully, it's supposed to be this week, to be honest. That's why I didn't have a video out yesterday. Just stuff, you know what I mean? Stuff. Had to go shopping. Had to go grab props for a video that I'm working on that's coming up. I can tell you though, if you are a backer, then you have access on the Discord server to a couple of special channels, including one called Development, where I give you inside secrets about things that are going on and what I'm working on. It's all very, very thrilling stuff. But if you are here watching this, you made it to what I'm going to call the end, then I'll also drop a few breadcrumbs and let you know what I'm working on. So this week I'm working on a how to play video for a game called Bigfoot Roll and Smash, which is a programmed movement kind of thing, sort of like a Robo Rally, except it's based around the license of the, you know, the giant monster trucks that smash into cars during derbies that are at your local state fair or whatever, the dirt arena. What am I trying to say? You know what I'm saying. Cops Coliseum. I don't know. So I'm working on that, and I hope to get that finished by the end of next week, because at the end of next week, 2 games arrive. One of them is, you hopefully already know about. It's called Distilled by Paverson Games, and it's a game about distilling spirits in those gigantic kegs. And if that sounds familiar to you, it might be because you've already seen my how to play video on Distilled. And the reason why you're going to be seeing another one is because that how to play video was based on the prototype version of Distilled, and Paverson Games has updated components, finalized artwork, the stuff that's going out through the Kickstarter, and really wants to see a video with the finalized components in it. So that's coming. You're going to see that soon. And then the other cool thing, maybe if you've been on Facebook, you've seen this mentioned in a couple of the sort of board game groups, is a game called An Age Contrived. An Age Contrived is a how do I put it? It is a fantasy themed game where there are asymmetric powers, but they have to be earned, and you're building monuments, kind of like the monuments in Everdell. They're going to remind you of those, except they come in pieces, and the more you do, the more you put them together. And I believe that they're magnetic, and there are metal structures on the board that sort of support them. So as one is a ship, right? So you put like the side of the ship up, and you're kind of constructing this thing. And mechanically, I just played a couple weeks ago for the first time Viscounts of the West Kingdom, and if you played that, it has a conveyor belt system where you're shuffling cards through your board, and when the cards pop off one end, you get to do stuff. So An Age Contrived has something similar where you're sliding these tiles, these card shaped tiles through your board, but the card shaped tiles hold Azul Starburst tokens, like those square things that look like you want to eat them but don't because you'll die. So those things are kind of like your currency. And then it's got kind of like a Scythe thing going on a little bit, where you know how Scythe, you've got your board, if you've played Scythe, you've got it split into 4 sections, and there's each one is like a move that you can do, and there's a top thing and a bottom thing, and you can do the top thing, and then if you worked it out properly, you might get this bonus second action. It's a little bit like that, where there's like a top thing and a bottom thing, and you use the top action. Like, for example, one of the cards that you activate may say, take Starburst candies from column 3 of your board and blah, 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 right? So you have to like, okay, I'm activating this, and count over and go up, and then use your tokens to do stuff on the board and build pieces, blah, blah. Anyway, looks neat. I can't wait till it comes, and I'm going to be working on that video, and it'll be part of the Kickstarter campaign. So surprise, surprise, that's another Kickstarter game that's coming out that you'll have to save your pennies up for if you want to get involved. Building dwellings seems pretty mandatory, though. What are we talking about? You turn your workers into houses. Oh, we're talking about Dwellings of Eldervale still. Yes. I don't know. I haven't played it. I don't know if buildings is mandatory, but I thought you were talking about An Age Contrived, where building buildings is mandatory, because that's like the entire game. That's like the game ends when all those structures are complete, kind of thing. So look forward to that. Like I say, I have of the stuff that's not commissioned, I have a top 10 games thing that I want to do. Let me know if you want to hear Cheryl's top 10 too. We weren't too sure how to do that. She's got a top 10. I've got a top 10. This isn't best games of the year. This is like our favorite games of all time. We've never done top 10 favorite games of all time. And I think maybe it's time to do that. So I didn't know whether to do like a whole video that's just my number 1 to number 10. There it is. There's Ryan's list. And then Cheryl on her own, I think for the first time ever, does her top 10, number 1 to number 10 in a video. Or do you like that? Or do you like this idea? Cheryl and I are both in the same video, and there's 2 videos. And in the one video, I do my number 10 to 5 and she does her number 10 to 5 and we trade off. And then in the second video, we both do our 5 to 1 in the same video and we trade off and then sort of have a little bit of banter. Which would you prefer? I'm interested to know. And I'm so interested, I'm just going to hang out and chat a little bit until you answer me and tell me. Damn it, answer me. Answer me, I want to know. Together or separate? What do you think would look better? So, and then the other thing that I'm doing, banter. Omelette likes banter. Omelette likes banter. But Omelette, I mean, he's not the be all end all. He's only the monarch of the channel and one of the most generous contributors to the channel. So yeah, we'll do what you say, Omelette. But so I don't know. Maybe the proletariat will rise up and outvote you. I doubt it. I think most people would want to see us together. That's my sense. What they want to do, see us together talking about the lists. And then the other thing that I want to do is I've been I just tossed a couple of emails out to some publishers because I have a feeling that there are games out there that have flown under the radar because of circumstances related to the pandemic. Stuff that people wish they could have promoted a little bit better, or stuff where people just weren't going to buy it because they have to play it with other people. Like Deal with the Devil. Like, it's interesting that it's coming out now because you can't, like I said, you can't play it without only 4 players. It's really rigid that way. So if that had come out like January 2020, forget about it. Like, this is no. So I think there's hope. I see hope with Deal with the Devil because now it's like, okay, now you can get together in a group and play a board game together. You'll still get sick and die. Like, don't get me wrong. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, but we're all pretending that we're not. So please play Deal with the Devil, get sick and die, have a good time. We're here for a good time, not for a long time. So I sent emails out to these publishers asking, is there a game on your docket that you kind of like wished had more uptake, or that people noticed more, or that people would play if not for the circumstances of the COVID-19 crisis? Some people got back to me and said, yeah, absolutely, it's this one. Some people said, yeah, maybe if I were to mention it, it would be this one. And then like a couple of people said, like, no, our sales weren't affected at all. One person even said that, our sales were actually up over the pandemic, which was encouraging. But when I do that video, hopefully maybe you'll be keyed into some hidden gems. Not that you need more games to go buy and play, but if you've got extra shelf space and you're looking for something, or you're looking for a diamond in the rough kind of thing, like a hidden gem kind of thing, maybe that's a video you want to tune into. I like you guys together. Sum is greater than than individual. The individual. How does the saying go? Something, sum of its parts. Yeah, together would be nice. Yeah, okay. I think, well, that's 2. That's 2 people weighing in. That's all I need. That's all I need. Cool. Varys, by the way, I'm going to be mentioning a lot more when where'd those Starship Captains ships go? When I tackle that whole project. I've spent the day trying to vet. Here's another thing that's going on behind the scenes secretly. Shh, don't tell anyone. The company sent me a laser cutter, gratis. They just said, like, take this laser cutter and then do a review within 2 weeks. And I said, yes, I could do that. Please. So I grabbed the laser cutter, and it was summertime. This is how far back we're going. Late summer. This is after Gen Con, I think. This all came together. And so I was using the laser cutter in the garage, but I was having some difficulty with it. And the company was Chinese. It still is. And I was sending them emails saying, like, I don't know, it's like emitting this error noise and I don't know why, and I'm having trouble using it. And they were kind of like slow on the draw, getting back to me and helping me troubleshoot it. And I was like, I don't know, like, they wanted the video in 2 weeks. Do I just like make a video and say, hey, they gave me a laser cutter and I don't know how to use it and it sucks? And that's the end of it. I didn't want to do that. I want to give it more of a fair shake. But the response times were so slow with these guys. So eventually, like weeks and weeks later, they got back to me. And by that time, Canadian winter started creeping in. So the garage was getting too cold for me to actually use this laser cutter indoors. So then it's like, shoot, what do I do? Like, do I fly to Florida for a week just to use this laser cutter just to get the video out, which doesn't seem at all appropriate, although I would like to hang out in Florida for a week. So what I ended up doing was spending a bunch of extra money and time trying to figure out how to operate the laser cutter inside the house. And so if you saw our Bits Please video on how we vented the resin printer out the window, it was a similar process. We had to, oh my gosh, you'll see it in the episode when we do the episode, but we had to get ducting and adapters and clamps and tape, and we had to like put a board with insulated board out the window and vent it up and get a vent cover, and this whole thing. We had to get an enclosure for the thing. Anyway, so, you know, we've been working on it for like a week and a half, just in, you know, the off time, so I can actually get to the point where I can use this laser cutter and not have it like beep angrily at me. Get it all going, finally plug it in, ready to use it, right? I run the job, it zips back and forth, doesn't print anything, and then beeps angrily. It's like, oh my God, that's so much money. By the way, for my birthday a couple of weeks ago, Cheryl got me like extra pieces for it so that it would run better and do better things and not smell smoky. And like, oh, it still wasn't working. I found out the whole problem, and I think Cheryl put this together like the exact instant that I put it together. I don't want to give her all the credit is what I'm saying. I suspected this was the problem, but the board that we were trying to laser cut was just slightly bowed. You know how plywood, it's just a plywood board. You know how a piece of wood's never perfect, right? So it's just slightly, so it was down here and it kind of like arced up like this, right? So that means that when the laser module, which is just a big like rectangle, it would go along, here, I'm going to simulate the board. So it would go along here, blah, 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 I'm doing laser things, da, 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 da. By the way, I found out why it wasn't printing before, why it wasn't etching before. It's because I had power level 1 out of 100. So that was user error. And I guess this is too, because the thing would come like, da, 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 everything's cool. And then it would just kind of like, it wasn't this severely bowed, but it would just kind of like nudge it. And then it would kind of like meet resistance and it would go like, bleep, right? And it would freak out. The reason we were able to put that together was because when I ran it with no power going through the laser, like I thought it was beeping before because it was detecting, it's got this beep that it does when it detects a flame or when it gets too hot or too dangerous or it's going to blow up your house or whatever. And I thought that was the flame detection beep that it was doing. But what it was actually doing, and I didn't know until we had it running and it wasn't etching at all, was it had to be a resistance thing. It had to be, because they kept saying, the company was saying like, make sure that it's not like your limit switch the cord isn't pulled out, because it sounds like it's like the limit switch, when it bumps into the edge of the frame, that's when it's going to freak out and not like it. Anyway, Cheryl with the solution, she just comes in with a screw and just like screws the board down to take that bow down and get it nice and flush with the thing. And we hit print and off it goes. And the other thing that I was worried that it couldn't do was cut. It could etch, no problem. It's really cool. You can feed it and again, you'll see all this in the episode, but you can feed it like an image, like a photo or whatever, and it'll etch gradations in the photo. So you can etch like a photograph into a piece of wood or whatever. And it looks pretty cool. So it did that fine, but it couldn't cut because I kept getting this beepy, angry error message. When we finally got it working and it was finally etching and, happy to say, cutting, and we had it like venting out the window and everything, the basement quickly filled up with smoke, very stinky birch smoke. And that's what I've been breathing. If you can hear my voice, it's a bit strained because I can't shut up, A, and B, because I just think the whole basement was filled with like dirty birch smoke. Dirty birch smoke. So hopefully we'll get that sorted out. I don't know what the fix is for. All right, we got air assist, so I'm going to rig up a whole air assist module. That was my birthday present. Oh, I talk too much. In conclusion, in sum, I'm working on that video about the laser cutter, so you'll find out like an idiot's guide to running a laser cutter for the first time and some of the pitfalls that you too, if you are as much of a moron as I am, you could run into if you go and spring for one of the laser cutters and try to operate it inside in the dead of winter during Canada's 8 months of winter. That's all. Cool. I think we're done here. That was Deal with the Devil and Starship Captains from CGE, Czech Games Edition. Both of them free to me, but not to you, but I'm sure available to you at a reasonable price from your friendly local game store. Please check them out. Give them a shot. I think they'll be cool. I think you'll like Starship Captains if you like Arnak and are okay with it being a little bit on the lighter side. Deal with the Devil. I don't know if you like Alchemists, if you like it bonkers, and I do. I got to go upstairs now and learn this. Yeah, great, cool. Thank you very much. We're not going to rate anybody, but I'm glad you could join me. Let me grab the mouse. Good night, everybody, if you're still watching, and we'll see you next time on Knights Around a Table.
Did you just watch that whole thing? Oh, hey, to 100% this video, click the badge to subscribe, and then click the bell to get notifications when I've got new stuff.